Hi traders, so these are some of the trades I took last week and some of the trades I'm currently on. So this is sell I'm currently on and this sell is currently moving in profit. And this is another trade I took as of on gold. It was the first buy I took, which gave me 1:4 risk to reward ratio. This one hits stop loss. So also another buy I tried taking hit stop loss. Then I'm currently on this very sell, currently targeting 1:7 risk to reward ratio. Then I took a buy on BTC last week, which was this very first buy. This very first buy went against me, hit my stop loss. And I'm currently on this very buy, which currently moving in profit. Now, I also had so many other opportunity I caught. This is another trade I took out on USD JPY, and this very trade now is currently moving in profit. So in this very video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I consistently win trade with the structure, liquidity, and the POI. So I'm not going to waste time. Let me jump right into the video and show you guys how I go about it every single time. So you can go over, replicate it, and then have a better win rate and also have a better risk to reward ratio. So I'm not going to waste time. Let's begin. So right here, I've written down about 5 steps on how I go about it every single time. So I'm going to explain with each of the steps and how I use them and how I apply them. Now, the very first step is this: I understand the market and also I know how the market works. Though you don't fully know how the market works, you don't usually fully know how the market works or what the market is going to do every single time. But at least I know some things about the market, right, that is helping me have this good win rate, right? And these are the things I know about the market. First thing is this: the market moves based on supply and demand, meaning at every single demand or supply zone, the price tends to sell from that very zone. Meaning, if you have a level, maybe a high, where the price has previously got into, I believe you know what supply is, right? Price works on supply and demand. This is a point where the price previously got to, which is like a supply, right? So now, what you expect is for the price to come back there and then sell because the zone where the price has previously sold off from. And that's how the market works. The market works on supply and demand. So once I know this, I know if there's a supply level, there's a chance that the price is gonna come to that supply level, and once it's there, there's gonna be reversal. So if I now know, okay, this price is gonna come to this very supply level, and we're looking out for buys till it gets there. Same thing, once it's at that very supply level, I can now watch out for reversal, which is now like a change of character to start looking out for sales, just like that. Then there are other things. Second thing is market works on liquidity or market moves on liquidity. Liquidity is going to help fuel the move. So if you have liquidity present, it's going to help you. It's going to help the market moves and respect that your demand or that your supply level. And I just use supply and demand so it can be easy for you guys to understand. Those that don't trade SMC. Now, supply and demand, I use order block as my supply and demand. So price moves on order blocks, either the buy order block or the sell order block. Then the second thing, price needs liquidity to fuel the move. Then the third important point is price always moves based on the order flow. Meaning price always moves based on those in charge of that very market. If buyers are in charge of the market, market will respect more of demand. Meaning if buyers are in charge, there's going to be a demand. And that demand is where the price will likely come back to and buy. Price will likely come back there and buy. There's going to be a supply, but the price is likely not going to respect that supply, which means buyers are the ones in charge of that market. It's going to be respecting more of demand. So the order flow is bullish. Buyers are more aggressive. It's going to respect more demand. And all of this high now, which is supply, they're going to likely be breaking structure. If you know this, you're able to know, okay, this market is bullish. Order flow is bullish. I'm more interested in looking out for buys and in taking buys. And with that, you only look out for buys and you only take buys on that very market. Why? Because you now know the order flow, you now know who is in charge of that very market. So those are a few things. First thing, market works on supply and demand. Second thing, market is gonna need liquidity to move. Then the third thing, market moves on based who is in charge of the market. Market moves on based on who is in charge. Then the second key point, I'm not gonna waste time on any of the points. The second key point is this: I trade with the trend. This is extremely important. With what I just gave you, market moves on order flow. If buyers are in charge, the market is gonna likely receive more of order blocks for buys, not for sell. Why? Because buyers are the ones in charge of that very market. So that's what this means. If I want to know the direction of the market, to know the trend of the market, I want to watch out for my break of structure. And that's all I need in knowing the trend of the market. So as I go over mark my break of structure, I now know where the price is heading or what trend the price is going. Then I'll start looking out for a trade along that very trend. If it's a break of structure to the upside, then I'll start looking out for buys. And if you watch, all of this market now has been breaking structure to the upside. This is a high, which I believe by now you guys already know these basic things about about SMC, about structured liquidity POI. For you to click on this very video, for you to click on this very video, it means you already know some things about SMC, right? You want to now win more trade, you want to increase your win rate, right? So break of structure to the upside, then another high, break of structure to the upside. So showing me that this market is bullish and I want to make sure I'm looking out for buys. Same thing on GBP USD, right? I'm currently on a trade. Why? Because market is currently in the downtrend. Break of structure to the downside. This is a low, which I expected the price to break as a break of structure to the downside. It's going down. I'm gonna be looking out for sales, just like that. Now it has broken this low as a break of structure. What do you expect? I expect price to retrace a little. I expect price to retrace up a little, come back to a level, then go down again to break structure because it's bearish. I'm gonna be looking out for sales, just like that. I'm trading along with the market trend. Then the very third thing with what I do in winning more trades, right, is I get all my confluences complete before taking a trade. This is extremely important. Now, if you trade structured liquidity POI, now you're about to take a buy or take a sell. What do you need to see before you take that buy or before you take that sell? With the strategy, I want to see my break of structure. This was a signal I sent out to my free Telegram. The link is in the description of this very video. So this is the Telegram right here where I sent out this very signal. And if you watch, this was a trade. It's currently moving in profit over 1:02 already. So you can see the setup which I dropped as a signal. It's a free Telegram. The link is in the description. And this signal, over 1,000 people got it. So hopefully they are all making money. This was the setup right here. Everything was complete. And with the strategy, what do I need? Break of structure, which is the first thing, which is the structure. There is other one, liquidity. Now my entry was from this very other block. You can see the price just activated into a sniper entry and it's currently moving in profit. Now all my confluences were complete. There's another trade I took on USD Same thing, all the confluences were complete. Those are things I look out for. Once those things are not there, I won't jump on the trade. And this has significantly increased my win rate. If you watch, this very trade now has a break of structure. There has this sort of engineered liquidity. Then I took my buy. This was also dropped as a signal for the free Telegram. Now, if you watch, currently moving in some good profit. It was a more of a swing trade. So it's on a higher time frame. Now, the very fourth thing on how I constantly win trade with this strategy is I stay calm and patiently wait for my setup. This is something I've worked on over the years, right? And it's something you yourself you need to also work on. Now, you won't get to the charts every single time and then you find your setup, right? Sometimes you won't see your setup, it won't present itself. You can wait a day, 2 days without your setup showing up. So now you want to learn to stay calm. Don't go over because your setup is not present, you start jumping on trade. Make sure your setup is present, your break of trade is present. On this very buy, I waited for almost a week, right? I did the analysis on Monday. It came to my entry the next Monday. So I waited for almost a week for this very setup. That's why so many pairs are there. You can go over to other pairs, right? Check out other pairs if they have what you need to take your trade. USD did not come to my entry at first, so I go to other pairs I trade. Check it out if those ones are gonna give me opportunity. Right? You want to stay calm, wait for your setup. If it's not present, you wait. That's something you need to learn and also apply. Then the very final thing, which I do that made me constantly win trade, is I study my trades every weekend. Now, if you are in my Telegram, you're gonna know I'm a fan of doing this. Every single weekend, I always tell you, time to study. Right? Go to your chart, watch the trade you took, watch the strategy. That's what I even taught my students in our last class. And by the way, if you want to join my mentorship class, right, I have a mentorship class where I teach students how to trade. If you want to join, there's a link in the description of this very video. You can click on the link to join. It's a very little fee you pay and you'll be added to the mentorship class. Now, 15 is I study every single weekend. Every single weekend. This very weekend, I also did some study. And when I was doing that study, that was when I caught this very buy on ETH, which is a crypto pair. You know, crypto work on weekend. That was when I caught this very buy on the ETH. And many of you are gonna say, hey, where's the setup? You keep showing up the trade. Where's the setup? If you join my Telegram, you're gonna see so many setup, so many trade opportunities I dropped for them. Right? If you notice, this was when the GBP activated with a sniper entry. This was the USD trade we took, moving in profit. Right? And if you watch, these are some of my students winning and passing their problem challenge. You can see this one, he got funded about $15,000 and he hit the target within 2 days. where you can see the full history. So you're gonna get more. This is one of my students, right, who is currently making over $300 every single month. You can see this. He's a new student, and if you watch, so on, right? This was a trade I had on ETH, right, which was the buy I showed. This was when I had the setup, and when I took the very trade, you can see the setup right here. Then, if you notice, this was not the trade was now hitting full take profit, just like that. Why? Because I was studying the weekend. I was studying over the weekend. Then, on studying, I caught this very move. We don't trade forex market over the weekend, so I caught this very move on a crypto pair. The same strategy, the same system, everything was present. Liquidity, break of structure. I took my buy, which is all I need. So now you've now know the 5 steps on how I go about it. First step, which I gave you, is first I want to first know and understand some things about the market. I understand some things about the market. Then the second thing is I trade along the trend. So if the market is bullish, try everything possible and to make sure you're looking out for buys. Don't look out for sell, don't look out for reversal. Then the third thing is I go over, get all my confluences before I take my trade. Before I take any trade, if you watch all my trades, you're gonna notice something similar. I wait for all my confirmation complete. Then the fourth thing is I stay patient and calmly wait for my setup to present itself. No setup, I'll just relax till when the price presents setup. That's when most times you're gonna see me. I don't take trade all the time. You can see me a full day. I will be on the chart without taking any trade. Why? Because the setup is not present, so I don't need to force setup. I'll just wait for it to present itself. Then the 15th is I study my chart. Right? These are the things I go about. Right? That is currently making me win more trades with this strategy. And by the way, and I just opened an X account, a Twitter S account. So I'll leave the link in the description. So do well to give it a follow. And also there I drop some of my trades and some of my insights. Right? So guys, if this video was helpful, like the video. And one of the most important things you're gonna do is to share the video out with your friends. Right? So they can go over, watch this, and then make a better decision in trading. Right? Win more. They're gonna start winning more trade definitely with this strategy. Right? So if it's your first time to this very YouTube channel, I'm gonna advise you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. So take care, guys.